Hello, my people. My name is Justin Kamau. I'm a former addict, gambler, complainer, hopeless. But by the grace of God, I'm now sober and helping more and more young people to realize and see what is the feeling of being in recovery. So hang in there, because today I have something amazing. Today I'm going to talk about the morning routine of a recovery guru. Somebody who is in recovery, or anybody out there in life, needs to have an amazing morning routine. Morning hours, the way you start those morning hours dictates how it's going to be for the day to come. And this is something I've observed specifically in recovery. You see, when you are in addiction, when you're in alcoholism, gambling, or anything that you are addicted to, you never had a program. You never had a morning routine. Some of us, like for me, I used to wake up sometimes at 6 p.m. in the evening, sometimes in the morning, sometimes at midday. I was just formless. I was useless. I never had a routine. So when it comes to recovery, you have to be predictable. You have to have a routine. And it has to have something we call consistency. See, most of us get into recovery with motivation. Maybe you watch some documentary from somebody who has recovered, or maybe you watched me explaining my story and how I am now 1 year sober and how I have been doing this and this. And you think that whatever I have achieved so far, or whatever anybody else has achieved, took 1 minute or 1 day or 3 months in a rehab. No, recovery takes a lot of time, takes a lot of consistency, takes a lot of pain, takes a lot of falling down and standing up. See, even Les Brown says it so nicely that if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. It says even nicely, so nicely. Another quote says it so nicely, that a saint is a sinner who keeps on trying, or a saint is a sinner who keeps on doing it again and again. See, Kobe Bryant even said it even better, that legends are not defined by their successes. They are defined by how well they bounce back even after defeat. So consistency is a great thing when it comes to recovery. Most of us depend on motivation when getting into recovery. I watch something. I want a job. I want to maintain my job. I want to keep my friends, my wife, and that's why I'm doing it. If you're doing it and you don't have a strong why, I promise you are going to give up, because people are not going to trust you so easily. Money will not come in so easily. Situations will not change so easily if you're in recovery. But if you can have something we call consistency, specifically in the morning, that I said I'm going to be waking up at 5 a.m. And maybe some of us want to wake up at 5 a.m., some of us 6 a.m., some of us 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. Make sure that you wake up at that time every day, even if your body doesn't feel like. One thing about us as human beings, we want to be in the comfort zone. You won't be in that life. Recovery takes a lot of pain, and being in addiction is also painful. So you have to choose your pain. And for you to get into the other side of life, you have to call what we have consistency. Another thing you need to know about consistency is that initially it will be hard. But just like going into the gym, when you lift weights, initially it's very hard. But the more you do it each and every day, even when your body doesn't feel like doing it, in the end, it's going to be very easy. It needs to be organized, number 2. You need to be organized. When you wake up in the morning, you need to make up your bed the right way. When you make up your bed the right way, you arrange your books the right way, you do those things in an organized way, it teaches your mind and your brain to even be organized during the day. Remember, when you were in addiction, you never had organization. You are never organized. You never used to make your bed. Some of us were dirty. Some of us were never clean. So if you're going to go wash your teeth, go brush your teeth, go, shower, it needs to be in an organized way. Make your room to be so neat. And that way, it teaches you a lot, even in other areas of life. Number 3, you have woken up. You have made sure that you have done it every single day. Maybe you have been waking up at 5 a.m. You made your bed. It's consistent. Number 3, you need to do something we call MVP. MVP, you have to do something we call meditation. Meditation is maybe you read a quote. There is a book where it talks about just for today. There are lines out there. And then there is one of the best books in the world that there will ever be, which is the Bible. I read it a lot. Maybe you do it in an organized way like this one. SOAP. You read a scripture. Maybe I'm reading John 3:1. Or maybe I'm reading somewhere about Daniel and how he prayed for 3 times a day because there was King Darius wanted to throw him in the lion's den. Then, how have you observed? Daniel was praying. So in 10 times, your observation is you have to pray. And then What is your application for that day when you read that scripture? How are you going to apply it? Maybe you're in a tough situation. Nobody believes in you. You don't have a job because you lost it out of alcoholism. So the way you're going to apply it is by applying that scripture for the day, is by praying the way Daniel prayed. And then prayer is the last thing. You need to pray. Pray for God's will to happen in your life. You know, we used to have a prayerless life. And one thing you have to understand is that addiction is more of a spiritual battle. And if you're going to win it, you have to bring in spiritual principles. Humility, honesty. You know, some of us back off when we hear things about, spirituality or on the other side. One thing about recovery is that for us, we have been through hell and are back. So we don't fear hell, we don't fear anything. We go out there fearlessly. So you have to involve prayer in your life. The next thing is visualization. I love visualization in the morning. I have seen people like John C. Maxwell, Robin Sharma. I learn a lot from them. And how they speak about it, doing it in the morning. You visualize the life you want, where I want to be by the end of the day, by the end of the year. And then you visualize, this is the first step I'm going to take. This is the second step I'm going to take. Every single day, if you keep on doing it, there is so much power in having goals. You even have a plan, a business plan. It's like walking from here, traveling from here to America or to any other land. I'm in Kenya at the moment. If I'm going to travel from here to another land, if it's a sunny, it's a place where it's hot, I have to carry light clothes. So I have to remove everything heavy from the bag instead of carrying so much. So if you visualize the life you want, you know exactly what you want on that journey, and you know what exactly you don't want. So visualization is very important. And now prayer. Like we talked about it, you have to do it. Number 4, you have to read something that will make you the Picasso of your industry. Or it has to be something that involves recovery. When I say the Picasso of your industry, Pablo Picasso was one of the best painters. And most of his paintings, they cost a lot of money. But one thing about Picasso is that it took years and years of consistency to be able to paint the way he used to do it. Paintings like La Guernica in Spain from this guy called Pablo Picasso. If you look at people like Michelangelo, they took years to develop even something, a sculpture down there at Florence, Italy, known as David. It took him 4 years, from 1501 to 1504, to develop or to paint David. So if you want to be the Picasso of your industry, maybe you are an engineer, maybe you are a medical doctor, and you are in addiction back then, you want to be a recovery guru, whatever you want to do, these morning hours, you must read about them. I'm reading at the moment a book called Who Will Cry When You Die? An amazing book by Robin Sharma, where he's giving us points to doing in life. Reading does not also mean a book. You can use the internet. Most of the morning hours, maybe you can even get to Valuetainment and learn so much about from Patrick Bet-David, one of the people I enjoy watching. You can get to Tom Bilyeu. Learn from him, learn from Joe Rogan, learn from so many other people. It's amazing when you use those morning hours to read, because you are fresh. Your mind is at that genius level. Yeah, your mind is at a situation. Your mind is a situation where we call hyperfrontality. Yeah, and that situation, that is your genius level when it comes to those morning hours. An amazing time. The other thing you need to do is the gratitude list. Gratitude list is what are the things that you are grateful for. Most of the people who are in recovery and they are performing very well is that they are grateful. Even though they lost a lot, they are still grateful for the things they have. Every morning I wake up, I tell God, thank you because I have a shoe, I have clothes. When I was in addiction, I never had them. I used to sell them. Some of the time, I used to even steal them. I have a phone. I have a bed that I sleep on. Do you know there are people who never have beds? There are people who never have something to eat. So there are so much that you can be grateful for, specifically in the morning. God or Jesus in the Bible never used anybody with what they had lost. Anytime Jesus found the disciple, he used to tell them, come as you are, and I will make you the fishers of men. Use whatever you have. Naaman, go out there and wash your face for 7 times. Already, not what you have lost, not the leprosy or anything of that sort. What you have left is amazing. I meet people who tell me that they have lost millions and millions of money. They have lost their families because of addiction. If you focus too much on what is lost, you won't see the light that is coming. There is so much that you can use with whatever is left. There is so much you can use with the pain that you have gone through as a person. So that is an amazing point. The other one is exercise. Exercise helps in a big way. It releases a lot of dopamines. Most of the time I run in the morning, and in the evening I go to the gym because it helps in a big way. In the morning hours, you're able to release things like BDNF, which helps you to be more energized. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Serotonin, which helps you to be happier. You see, most of us used to gamble or drink so that we can get to be happy. And it gets to a point where this happiness is elusive. So if you exercise most of the time, you're going to release these hormones, which helps you in a big way. It comes to recovery. Talk about serotonin, talk about dopamine, talk about norepinephrine, which helps you with focus, yeah, and helps you in a big way when it comes to a day. The last point, and it's not the least, it's the best. Positive mantras. It's amazing when you do positive mantras as a recovery person in the morning. Remember, people have, like for me, I used to be called Gikomba Baridi. Those of us who might not understand Kiswahili, Gikomba Baridi means, there's a market in our country called Gikomba. It's one of the biggest, which sells clothes. And Baridi is cold. I used to sell cold clothes which I had stolen. So people used to call me Gikomba Cold, which means I used to sell it to even cold clothes which I had stolen from the hanging lines. Now, in recovery, I had to start calling myself good names. If you cannot give yourself prophetic names and good names, nobody else will do that for you. So in the morning, those are the times where, like Eric Thomas does it, I can, I will, I must, I believe I can. And the moment you give yourself these positive mantras, your mind is going to act the same way you speak. Most of the time, you keep on complaining. If you keep on saying that I'm useless, I'm hopeless, you're also going to act the same way, because the brain is it's a very strong part of the body. The other one, you can say even, who am I? I'm a champion. You can call yourself, I'm a champion. I am a winner. I am blessed. Those are the things you call yourself in the morning. Otherwise, these things you have to do them consistently over a long period of time. Like I told you, initially it's going to be difficult to do these things. But the more you do them, the easier it becomes. One thing about going to the gym is that you find other people who are lifting weights 150 kg and you start with 10 kgs. But you know one thing. If I keep on doing this, eventually I also get there. And they even inspire you, those ones who are doing the 150 kgs weights. They inspire you that I started there. But because I came in here in the gym, even when my body didn't feel like, that's why I'm who I am today. All these things, they take a lot of consistency, sometimes pain, and sometimes you have to do them alone for you to get to a level where you're going to be a recovery guru. Otherwise, keep on keeping on. I'm rooting for you. I know I want as many people as possible to get in recovery. I want as many people as possible to realize the potential that they have. You don't know what God has for you. Stop complaining. You're not hopeless. You're not useless. They have called you those names, but if you can allow yourself to do these things consistently and to go through so much pain initially and use that pain as fuel for you to have a better future, in the end, you're going to be better. Otherwise, I love you. I'm rooting for you. Keep on keeping on. If you hang in the barber's chair for long enough, eventually you're also going to get a haircut. I love you. Miracles do happen in recovery. It's only that sometimes they take a little bit longer. I love you, my people.